That's just the basics of recognition. Opening your mouth, say something nice. And we're going to get deeper into about what it is that you're going to say something nice about. It's very simple. The way that you can make that recognition mean so much more is, I feel, by specifically stating what the recognition is about. Welcome back. Here we go. Stand Tall Leadership Show. My name's Steve Bowler, also known as Stand Tall Steve, and I am also with Meg. How are you doing, Meg?
Hey, Steve, doing good.
That's it. Yeah, it's like we saw each other when we were like face to face at the Within Our Ranks summit. That was great. And now it's like only time I get to see you is on here. Only time I get to see you anymore because you're so far away. Or maybe I'm far away from you. Maybe that's what it is. Or you're far away from me. Who knows? Right?
Yep. We'll have to meet in the middle.
We got to meet in the middle somehow or something to figure it out. But we are going to meet. Actually, we are going to be connecting in June when we have our next Within Our Ranks event summit. And then we'll see each other again in July at the Innovative Schools Summit.
Yeah.
In Vegas. So there it is. We'll be connecting. And again, also in July for the national NSA conference, National Speakers Association.
Yeah. We have a lot of things coming up.
We got some good stuff happening. That's it. Well, that's not the focus of today. Our topic today, Meg, what is our topic for today?
Oh, yeah. I'm excited about this one. This one is real recognition, but we're only going to talk about part one this time. There's going to be a part two.
That's right. So we're going to do two parts, real recognition. So we're going to talk about what recognition is, the importance of recognition, and it's going to be part one and part two. Part one is going to be about student recognition, and then part two is going to be about staff, or what I like to call staffalty recognition, because it's everybody in the school, staff, faculty, everybody, staffalty. So that's what we're going to have. It's a two-part thing, real recognition. So to do this, I'm going to quantify recognition so that we have a base. This is Steve. This is my belief about recognition. So to me, authentic recognition is when you open your mouth and say something nice. That's just the basics of recognition. Opening your mouth, say something nice. And we're going to get deeper into about what it is that you're going to say something nice about. But that's the basis of it. I know a lot of times people say that recognition is you give a certificate, you give a prize, that's a reward, as far as I'm concerned, a award, reward, whatever like that, which is a part of recognition. But the very minimal bit of this is just opening your mouth and saying something nice. What do you think about that, Meg?
Oh, I never thought of it that way, but as you're talking about it, it completely makes sense. As just adults, human beings, just recognizing the good things that you're seeing in people. Very simply put. I like that.
It's very simple. I know a lot of times in schools when you talk to educators and they say, oh, we need to find some ways to recognize the kids and everything. People, they almost do a heavy sigh, a heavy, here we go, I got to do this. What is it? What is this? What do we have to do? You have to open your mouth and say something nice. Yeah. That's it. There's some elaborate programs out there as it relates to recognition. I know some schools have some really elaborate ways of recognizing students, which is fine. But even for the most, I don't know, how can I name these teachers? Disgruntled or negative or overworked or busy teacher, they can still do recognition even at the simplest level. Just open your mouth and say something nice.
Yeah. Well, I think too, though, when you hear we need to recognize students, you immediately think like we need to do something more than just saying, wow, good job on that. Or
Mhm.
I noticed when you did this, I really liked this. I think sometimes we take it, we want to do more of that. So
Right.
it's good to remember just to it's keep it simple.
You can keep it simple. You really can keep it simple. But here's the thing. When we're talking about recognition and ensuring that when you're doing this recognition, even at the simplest level of just saying something nice, the way that you can make that recognition mean so much more is, I feel, by specifically stating what the recognition is about.
Mm.
So, a student does well on his paper. Way to go. Good job on this paper, on getting an 80, on getting a 90. Way to go. Say exactly what it is that they did, as opposed to just, hey, good job. Way to go, which is nice. But when you quantify it with what it is that you specifically are doing, I think it does a couple of things. One, it shows them what it is that they're doing that you really appreciate. And number two, it should strengthen behaviors of what it is that you want to see in the future.
Absolutely. You
You
just
know?
pick out the good things that they're doing and we're pleasers. They're excited. You notice that I did that. You specifically noticed that I capitalized all of my sentences in this writing. Yes,
Yes,
you did it.
you
And then the
did it.
next time they do, they're like, did you see that? I capitalized all of my sentences today.
You did it. You
Absolutely.
capitalized all of them. And now you can move on to the 11th grade. I mean, this is this is the behaviors that you want. We talk about creating the culture in the classroom, creating a climate in the classroom, good feeling, which is climate, culture in the classroom. It's all about the repetition, right? What you do over and over and over again, because that's what culture really is. Culture is traditions. Culture is what you do over and over and over and over again. So if in your classroom, you are over and over and over again recognizing students and being specific about what it is that you're recognizing, that ultimately starts to build the culture as to what it is that you identify to be most important.
It's those high expectations in your classroom. You
Yes.
get to set that bar, and that's where we're at. And what's a beauty this time of year, we're towards the end of the year, third quarter, and those
Mm.
high expectations, that culture that we've been building, and telling these students you're doing well on this part, the students start realizing this is what Mrs. Didi's expecting, and they start helping out each other, like, oh, you should do it like this. I really liked you do this. So you're
Mm-hmm.
setting, not only for them, you're modeling such a modeling great thing for students.
Yes, absolutely. And here's the other thing. So when we're talking about modeling, I love the fact that you said modeling, because I think it's really important that, educators, adults in general, you in your own home, to model the behaviors and model the things that it is that you want the students and your children to see, right? I'm a kind of person, I'm very blatant, meaning that not in a negative way, but I'm blatant in the fact that if when there's something that I want you to understand or to know, I will say, this is what it is that I want you to know. Like if you're modeling a bit in my household, like even my own kids, whatever like that. Let's say that I am on time, I like to something. We're going to an event, right? And that's a behavior you want to model for your kids. And you sit there thinking, oh, I hope they see this. No, I'm the guy that says, we're on time because this is important. I just straight up say it. So let's go back to the classroom. You're recognizing your students, right? You want to model those behaviors that you're saying by quantifying what it is specifically that you want to recognize them in. You are blatantly telling them exactly the modeled behavior of what it is that you want to see. That was a
Absolutely.
very long way to get to my point, but
What comes to mind the first when you're like, we're on time. My pet peeve, I don't know why, but it is in the class, like when we're walking in the hallway, I have a
yeah.
big pet peeve of students like just obnoxiously loud. It just like puts
Mhm.
everybody off kilter. And so every single time we leave my classroom, voices off, eyes forward, hands to yourself. And I think they go to sleep hearing that every single time. And they
Right.
just I don't try to talk to anybody else in the hallway. I'm doing my thing. And so they're seeing like the adults are doing it, the kids are
Mhm.
doing, and it's just those things, it's your expectations. What do you want?
Expectations.
in the
See, I would
classroom.
even go so far to tell the kids, I hope you notice I have my eyes forward charts as well. I would just that's me. Like I said, I would just tell them, look, I'm doing it too. As opposed to, well, I'm an adult, I can get away with it now. It's more do what I say, not what I do. But
Yes.
be blatant, straight up with it. And then as they're walking through the hall, way to go. Eyes forward. Way to nice. Good line. Way to be quiet. See, as opposed to good job in the hallway.
Yes.
Which is fine. But when you say, I really noticed your eyes looking forward ahead. Man, your mouths are really closed this time. That line was sharp as a man. That was good. This was excellent. Now they're knowing the specific behaviors of what it is that you want, and it's being reinforced. And therefore, it's creating a culture of hallway movement for your class.
Getting from point A to point B. Well, and then you take that. So let's say your high expectation, you're reflecting that, and then you put it into how you're teaching your students. You know, now you're getting into, well, if you're doing it this way, and I know when she says something or he says something every single time, that's what's expected, then you're learning your culture in your classroom, the learning that takes place can just grow, which then in turn you can start giving those rewards, that reflection piece.
That reward piece, which goes to, that's the next side of it, right? Now let's jump up to high school, okay? Let's jump up to high school. All right, middle school, hold on, maybe we'll get to you eventually. But let's talk about high school.
They are not quiet in the hallway.
What's that?
They're not quiet in the hallway.
Oh no, they're not quiet in the hallway. We're not even gonna start. Well, you know what? A high school, this is the thing, because I've been in a lot of high schools. Let's just do a little segue here, or a little step to a side. The hallways in a high school are much quieter than you think. Because now they're walking in the hallways with what? Headphones. They got headphones on. It is not a bustling, loud situation. They really stated themselves a lot. It's amazing. All my high school people, please message us. Let us know what the hallways are like. Yes, there are some that still act a fool and do whatever like that. But for those high schools that allow kids to have their phones and allow them to have headphones, it's a quiet place. It is. Anyway, so let's get to high school, recognition in high school. All right. Now, the behaviors that I see from staff to students in the high school is a lot of, they should have learned this already. All right. There's a whole lot of this, they should have learned this already. There's a lot of blaming down to the poor middle school and elementary teachers, right? Because when they get to high school, they either blame down or they blame up. Blaming down is, you should have learned this in middle school. Why do I have to keep telling you? Or they blame up as, well, this is the way the world works. You should know this. This is going to come. This is coming. They blame up or they blame down. So I say to my high school crew, recognition of student behavior and achievement is more important, massively more important, and will be received so much more and better at the high school level from the staff to the students, specifically when you're being poignant about what it is that you're recognizing them for. Does this make sense?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
You know, that's exactly what it is. I've seen it so many times, specifically at the high school level. So at the high school level, when the students are doing something, you know, you need to say, hey, way to go right there with whatever it is that they did, that research paper that you worked really hard on, and recognizing the effort. And this is everywhere, of course, but if instead of recognizing the end result of what it is they've done, how about recognizing the effort of how they did it? That's even more powerful than anything else. Reading the book Grit and reading the book Mindset, they talk about the importance of the process of getting to where it is that you need to be. That process of getting there and recognizing that effort really is huge. It's a huge, huge piece of that.
Yeah. And I think this goes beyond rewarding kids or recognizing kids with candy or, you know, some type of rewards, however that is, you know, it's like, oh, you did this, so now you get this. And, you know, being in elementary world, my favorite thing is to kind of show, those levels. This is, this is what it could look like in your writing. This is the next level. This is this.
Yeah.
Where do you want to find
Definitely.
yourself in that? And
Right.
then let's reward for their growth, whatever that is,
That's it. Yeah. And that's true. I mean, I love exemplars. I even explained that to teachers when I go and I present in their schools and stuff. It's like, when you're talking about what you respect and value in your school, it's very similar to what you do when you teach writing. With writing, you give exemplars. This is what an awesome writing is. This is what a so-so writing is. Same thing with creating a culture in your school. You need to showcase what good behavior is, what all the exemplars of what it is that you want to see in your school, in your classroom, and then you have to pinpoint and explain what that is. So let's say that you respect and value in your classroom hard work. All right, maybe that's one of the things that you say, that's real important to me. Well, are you recognizing hard work? Are you pinpointing out hard work to the kids? Are you saying, you know what? Hey, I love how hard you work with that. You really push perseverance. You know what perseverance means? You're really making that good. Oh, wow. You're really being accountable for what it is that you did. Look at how you did that. That's some serious recognition right there.
Absolutely.
To me.
Absolutely. And that just goes so much deeper than giving a thing.
Giving a thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Now, have you heard my belief about, no, you haven't. I know you haven't. My belief about the difference between recognition and reward. All right.
Ooh, hear this.
All right. Recognition is something that you give when they do what they're supposed to do. You reward when they go above and beyond what they're supposed to do. That's the difference. All right. So if they're doing what they're supposed to do, what the expectation is, you recognize them. You open your mouth, you say something nice, you talk about the process, you give them an attaboy. Now, when they go above and beyond what's expected, number one, you need to have a criteria. They need to see what above and beyond is. All right. When they know and they see what above and beyond is, and then they reach for it, boom, congratulations, here's your certificate, here's your candy, here's your whatever it is. You've gone above and beyond. Here's your token of whatever that might be. That's the way they do it. And this also establishes a sense of respect for the learning process instead of the me, give me something mentality. And you're trying to also you're developing that internal, it's the internal drive to want to do better, to do well, right? That's what you're trying to develop in the students. And when you're doing that, by separating the recognition and rewards in that way, that can help make that happen.
Yeah, that's good. It's well put.
Yeah, that's it. You know what? Like everybody knows, I have a book. It's called Ideas, Ideas, Ideas. In that book, it's a plethora of different ideas in there. Everything from events, fun ways to make the school exciting, reward systems and everything like that. And I know, and you may be sitting there thinking, well, Steve, you have a whole book on rewards. You have a whole book on all this stuff, but yet you're talking about the rewards and the difference between recognition. Yes, I do have a book with a bunch of different ideas, but even if that in that book, if you quantify the difference between recognition and reward, now you can kind of fit all those different ideas into those different pockets to be able to use them properly.
And
I'm like on a tirade this morning, today.
Yeah, it's good. And all year, I feel like this is something whenever you're listening to this podcast, this has to happen all year long.
Yeah.
They have to be reminded again and again and again. All of the things that you're expecting.
What's that one quote? Kids need to be reminded more than they need to be taught. They need to be reminded more than they need to be taught. Now, I know a lot of teachers like, it's not my job to remind them over and over and over again. Yes, it is. They're children. There's adults who can't get it right. What makes you think kids are? And when I say remind them over and over again, it doesn't mean necessarily, I have to remind you, It goes to the recognition is a form of reminding them.
Yep. Absolutely.
There you go.
And it's less harsh. Like, haven't I told you before that you need to do it like this? Haven't I said that, instead of saying, wow, I just loved how you, Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. And it makes you happier. Why do you want to be upset all the time? Why do you want to be angry? You know I've experienced all the different emotions. I like happy. I like happy. So that's the one I'm going to go with.
And
I don't
as
understand.
an educator, we really should, go towards that feeling of being happy. I don't want to show up with kids every day and be upset.
I know, walking to class with your coffee. I didn't sleep good last night, y'all. Don't mess with me. I mean, who wants to get it together? It's not their fault. But yet, if they come in with something, a little juice box, I didn't sleep good last night. Don't mess with me. The teacher be right up in their face anyway.
Do what you're supposed to do.
Do what you're supposed to do. And who the kid said it to the teacher? Do what you're supposed to do.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Teaching, people say, like, I should have wrote a book about the things that kids say or things that happen. And I think those would no one gets it unless you're in education.
No one gets
if you call and you tell this crazy story and you're like, no one does that. And you're like, it does. We're in education.
It does.
And you can have those.
Yep.
We should have a session, a podcast on when in the classroom, just laughter.
Yeah. Maybe we could do that. Yeah. We're writing up we're getting some ideas for the next season of the podcast. And that might be one of them. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, that was part one of recognition, real recognition, part one, focusing on the students. And then the next one's going to be real recognition, part two. And we did talk a little bit about where we're going to be coming up. We have some things that we're going to be doing some stuff. At the time that we're recording this, I'm about to leave tomorrow to go to Innovative Schools Conference Orlando. I'm heading there. I have a virtual for a school in Tennessee at the end of the month. And when we're going back to Buffalo to coach some administrators up there, I do professional coaching. You have what? What do you got coming up?
We are recording our episode for Elevate. It's a virtual conference for educators still in the classroom. It's wonderful. We're headed to ISS Nashville and Vegas. We have Vegas coming up. So, and we're headed to Kansas, actually, to a university over there. So, yeah, we got a lot.
Teaching some future teachers, right?
Yeah, teachers of tomorrow. I'm very excited for it. Yeah.
What university? You remember the name of
the Fort Hays University.
That's it. That's perfect. Yeah, and I'll be at the ISS school conference in Vegas as well. And I'm here's the thing, inside scoop. I'm working on a deal with the school in Istanbul, where I'm going to be going over to Istanbul to work with them over there, helping them with climate culture, make some great things going on there. And I just got booked in 2025. Can you believe that? Yeah.
That's
2025 in West Virginia. West Virginia, February 2025. That's how far out I'm getting booked. Crazy.
Good for you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, hey, everybody else who's out there, now's the time. If you're interested in having either of us come and speak, summer, leading into the school year, as it relates to, for me, climate and culture, as it relates to integrated and Meg, instructional strategies and thinking different and integrating all different areas, reach out, connect with us to make sure that happens.
If you have any thoughts on how you can recognize students, make sure you hit that subscribe button and put us in some comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts, like what's going on in your building, in your classroom. So make sure you subscribe to this.
Yes, like, subscribe, and comment. Please comment. Give us some feedback on all the stuff we're talking about.
Absolutely.
All right. Last little thing. If you're interested in becoming a speaker in education, K-12, check out Within Our Ranks. Within Our Ranks is training for educators who want to speak professionally. I am the instructor. Meg is an outcome of Within Our Ranks. And I'm telling you, that's what you need to do. Next cohort is June. It's going to be the last weekend in June. Reach out, go to withinourranks.com, find out more.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks, Steve.
Hey, thank you.